What's up guys, Volt here bringing you a brand new Fast and Furious car remake. In today's remake, I'm bringing you the 2020 Dodge Charger Hellcat Widebody that Dom drives in F9 The Fast Saga. Or what I like to call it as, Fast and Furious 9 or Fast 9. And this was a decently requested car. I'll put that on the screen right now. It was actually a while back, so hopefully they're still there. But thank you very much for requesting this, guys. And since we have an updated Buffalo in the game, which is called the Buffalo STX, I wanted to recreate this, and I actually thought about this once I bought my very first one. There's a random guy right here apparently. Hello, welcome to the video. I don't know who your name is. Air Monster J23. I'm gonna send you a message real quick saying I'm making a video. So if you've seen that message and if you see this video, then that's awesome. I mean, that's really cool. So as always, we're gonna start off with the base price. So we're gonna go to the internet. We're going to go to the travel and transport website. We're going to go down to the Southern San Andreas Super Autos website. And you want to go down and you want to find yourself the Bravado Buffalo STX, part of the contract update. Now, if you do not have the trade price, you're going to be paying $2,150,000, which is going to be right here. But if you do have the trade price, which is by purchasing an agency, then you'll be getting it for $1,612,500. So pretty basic. I'm going to say it is a little bit expensive car, but the sad part is it's just the price that's expensive. The modifications aren't really that expensive, and the ones for this build are fairly cheap, I would say, because it's mainly, for the most part, stock. Anyways, once you have your car and you have your color, meet us at the Los Santos Customs area right here, which is right where we're at right now. I was actually thinking about going to the Los Santos car meet, or even doing it at the agency, or maybe one of my other areas I can actually modify cars at. But I thought the old school area was actually really good, and you really don't need to put any weapons or armor on this. I mean, I didn't personally. The only thing I put on it was actually nothing. I didn't put any armor. I didn't put any bulletproof tires or anything on. I did put the homing lock on, jammer or whatever, so I don't get targeted by oppressors and such, but that's just pretty much a given. You want to definitely do that. There's another Buffalo right there. 2 people in it. And just ramping over car. Alright, so we're going to go inside before everybody just starts destroying the car, destroying the areas. So Bravado Buffalo STX is in the muscle category. I believe it's also the new fastest car in the game if you can wheelie it the entire way. So as I go to all my builds, I go over the overall look, the visual appearance, and the basic design, the car, and how it's portrayed in the movie, game, or anywhere else in general itself. Anything I don't go over is completely up to you. I just put a few staples in on my build. If you want to recreate my build or take a few things away from my build to make your own, then you're more than welcome to, and all you have to do is follow along with the video. So without further ado, let's get into the build. So to start things off, you want to go to bumpers, and you want to go to the front bumper and put on the stock front bumper. It didn't have any kind of custom splitter or anything kind of like race splitter or anything. It was just, I would say, like I said, for the most part, stock. So most of the stuff is going to be stock. So you're not going to be spending too much on modification. I would say no more than $1,750,000. If no more than $2 million. From there, we move on to the exhaust. Now, I stuck with the stock exhaust mainly because it was a decently sized exhaust, as well as it is a dark tipped exhaust, and all the other exhausts are chrome, and they are kind of a little bit weird. Also, these stick out the side. So I thought the stock exhaust was the best option. Again, you can kind of design it however you wish, but me personally, I'm going to stick with the stock exhaust. From there, we move on to the hood. I went with the muscle car hood. I think this is the closest one to Dom's actual hood that was on the car. The only thing is it has those kind of 2 lines right in the middle, where the hood piece is sticking up, where the vent is. Kind of splits into 3 vents instead of 1 giant one. So that's the only thing I kind of have a complaint about. Other than that, it's really not that terrible. I kind of grown attached to it, and I really don't mind it much anymore. I don't really notice that. But I mean, little things like that kind of bug me at times when I kind of look around it. But if I do this, it looks really close to the car. If I do this, since the picture's going to be in the left-hand corner, it looks really close to the car in the build, and it just looks really good. So the muscle car hood is my personal opinion for a really great hood option. From there, we move on to the intercoolers. I went with none. I didn't see anything, and if he had one, it was behind the mesh that was on the bottom of the bumper. So, I mean, I would just keep with none, personally. From there, we move on to the lights. You want to go to headlights, and I kept mine stock. We don't really know what kind of lights he was actually running, what kind of lights color they were, if they were these kind of stock lights, kind of bluish tint, xenons, or even white lights. My best guess is it's probably going to be either the stock ones, or if you want to spend, I think it's $10,000 or $20,000 extra, then you can put the white lights on from the Los Santos car meet or the arena, or anywhere else you can actually put them on. I would say personally, I would just keep them stock. I wouldn't spend the money. I mean, we don't really know what the lights were. It was during the day when they were driving this, and it got destroyed later on in the movie. After that, move on to the neon kits. Neon now is going to be none because he didn't run any neon that we were aware of anyways, because it was in daytime, and yeah, I just don't really feel like putting any neon on. I would just keep it done. From there, we move on to the livery. Now, the sad part is this thing did have a livery, and that is one thing it is missing. I felt like not putting one on because the liveries do not match the design at all. The livery that was actually on the car was a kind of like gray carbon fiber stripe texture design, and it had like an outline of like orange or red. And the two stripes that they gave us, unfortunately Rockstar didn't give us the one that we needed, is blue and the red. Now personally, I love the blue one. I think the blue one looks great, but that's just me. If I was to actually put one on, and if you actually want to put a livery on that is, you know, kind of makes it a bit more noticeable, that way people will know what it is, instead of just driving around a plain black, you know, Charger, then I would definitely go with the red one, because the outline of this is the exact, or pretty close to the exact outline to the one from the movie that is on his gray stripes. So yeah, I would just say either go with the red racing stripes or none. From there, move on to the louvers. You just want to keep that stock. You want a nice clean back rear window. You don't want to add any kind of like fins or like wangs or whatever people call them anymore, like the window fins or whatever. You know, you don't want to add that. You just want to keep it nice and clean. From there, we move on to the mirrors. You want to keep the mirrors stock. I wouldn't spend any money on the carbon mirrors, even though, you know, they're only like $900. I would keep them stock because, you know, all the car was pretty much all black and he didn't have carbon mirrors, so I would just keep it stock for the reminiscent of the build. From there, move on to the plate. Now, unfortunately, in the movie, he didn't have a plate on the car that I'm aware of. I didn't see anything on the front. And on the rear, it was just missing a plate in general. I don't think they were in the US. I think they were like in some kind of like jungle or something. There was no plate, but me personally, I think the one that fits the best is yellow and black. And then you can put whatever text you want. Me personally, I went with my custom plate that is really, really cool. And I actually got it from the movie, which I think it was the end of Fast 6. Hobbs actually asked Dom, you know, name your price, because he said that, you know, this tech is worth millions, huh? Or billions or something like that. He's like, yeah. And then he says, Dom, name your price. And Dom says 1327. What 1327 is the location, you know, his home pretty much. So back in, I think it's California. So yeah, I would definitely go with like a custom plate if you want to do that. Or if you don't want to change one at all, I would still at least make it yellow and black. Me, I'm just going to go with my 1327 yellow and black. And respray for last, we move on to the roll cage. Now, I actually thought it did have a roll cage in it, but unfortunately it does not. So don't put a roll cage in it. The main reason I said that it had a roll cage in it, or I thought that it had a roll cage in it, is because whenever Dom and Letty actually go across the bridge, a little bit of spoilers here, I'm sorry, but you know, if you haven't watched the movie, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to spoil a little bit. So once they go across the bridge, they land and they roll and flip and crush, or pretty much get destroyed in the car. But I mean, they're still in the car after, you know, rolls and gets crushed and destroyed and all that. And it didn't have a roll cage, but yet it still was okay. So it's kind of hard to tell in the pictures and then like in the screenshots in the movie and everything. I didn't see no roll cage, but maybe it did have one. I just don't think it did. I'm just going to put no roll cage personally. Because, and again, in like the close-up shots and everything, I didn't see no roll cage in the build, so I would just say no roll cage. From there, we move on to the roof. You want to actually put on the roof fin. This will give kind of like the little antenna and everything that, you know, Dom probably uses for, I would say, like any kind of electrical stuff in the car, like satellite GPS and things like that. I wouldn't put the carbon vortex generator on it, mainly because one, it's carbon, and two, it kind of looks more like a shark fin than just like an actual, you know, kind of like antenna fin. So I would just definitely go with the roof fin. And it also is matching the primary color, which is, you know, the black. So yeah, I would definitely just go with the roof fin. From there, we move on to the skirts. You just want to keep them stock. All the other ones are kind of like outstretched a little bit too pointy, as well as, you know, they add extra parts to the back end here, as you can see. Just makes it a little bit wider, a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. And you don't want that. You want it nice and stock, so just keep them stock. From there, we move on to the spoiler. I went with the small lip spoiler. It did have like a little tiny lip spoiler, I would say. I wouldn't say anything big like, you know, the medium lip spoiler with like the braces and everything on it. I would say the small lip spoiler is probably the best. And it does make the car look really cool and like actually fits the car really well, I think. So there you go. After that, we move on to the suspension. I went the stock suspension because, you know, again, it's a muscle car. I didn't think Dom would probably lower it, but if anything, I would say no more than a lowered suspension. Now, the sad part is, the car in the movie is actually wide body. Unfortunately, Rockstar did not give us a wide body. Maybe in the future we'll get this to be able to take it to Benny's to turn it into a wide body. That would be kind of cool. But I am not holding my breath on that. So yeah, I would say, again, either lower suspension at the most if you want to do that, or just keep it stock. After that, move on to the turbo. I would definitely add a turbo, even though it has a built-in automatic supercharger to this. And it should have a supercharger since it is a Charger. But, you know, you can also add a turbo if you really wanted to. And, you know, it had that decent bit of horsepower to it. So I thought adding a turbo was actually a good choice. After that, we move on to the wheels. You want to go to wheel type. You want to go to the off-road category. You want to go to the stock rims. And you want to put on the concave 5. Now, I think these rims fit the best. They have the same spoke design, the same spoke kind of layout, number-wise, and they kind of like, you know, kind of like fan out and all that. Sadly enough, they're not a little bit more sunken in, and also they have a little bit of rivets around it. But this is about the closest thing you can get to GT Online, you know, the actual ones that's in GT Online, that's actually in the movie. So I would say concave 5 is probably the best choice, even though they are off-road rims and they're not like a muscle rim or like a thick tire rim, kind of like, you know, how they are for the muscle. I still say the concave 5 are the best choice for the rim, and I don't have any other option other than this. From there, move on to the wheel color. It's going to be black. You want to make sure you do make it black. You don't want any other color. Just matches the nice black car, black rims, black car. Kind of like a stealth out look. Pretty cool. From there, move on to the tires. Tire design is going to be nothing, because if you actually add tire design, it adds the white text. Not only that, but it also adds the off-road tire updated design too, and you definitely don't want that, so I would just keep it with stock. From there, we move on to the tire enhancements. You can add bulletproof tires on if you wish. I mean, it is GT Online. It does come in handy quite a bit for this build, but I mean, if you're just building it to make a recreation, I personally wouldn't add bulletproof tires. I would just keep it standard. From there, we move on to the tire smoke. You just want to go white tire smoke. The only two tire smokes I mainly use anymore are white and black, but for this one, I would definitely say white. After that, we move on to the windows. You just want to go none. It was a nice crystal clear window. I thought maybe it had like a little bit of tint to it, but no, it was actually nice crystal clear. Apparently, they didn't want to spend the money on the tint for the car, which again, I don't blame them. They probably didn't have that car very long, so I probably wouldn't tint it out either. They weren't really trying to hide or anything, so yeah, they didn't add any tint to it. Just keep it none, save yourself the money. Alright, and I will see you guys in 2 seconds with a rolled steel primer color. Alright, and we're back. As you can see, I have my car and my primer dot rolled steel. Pretty much what I always do for all my builds, that way you know if it's an LSC color, a custom crew color. That way I don't tell you it's an LSC color, but it's actually a custom crew color. You need to, you know, join my crew, become part of the family, or take the hex code and or RGB that may be on screen or down in the description below, and add it to your own crew and add it to your own car that way. So I am going to be changing that up here a little bit. The saying I'm going to be doing is a little bit different, probably for the next build, but for this build, I'm going to be doing that one. But I did make a kind of poll on my channel, and I thank everyone that actually did participate in it, and thank you for all the advice and, you know, all the feedback and everything. I thought it was a really great idea, not only making, you know, a custom crew color, but also making an LSC color option as well. I know a lot of people can't really use custom crew colors or can't get them to work, or don't have the option to join a crew to do so, and, you know, actually don't want to join a crew or something. It's your build, you can do what you want, and if you don't want to join a crew, you don't need to. If you don't want to make a crew, you don't need to. But if you do want an alternative color, I will also come up with an alternative color in the LS car meet, you know, or the LSC, or the LS colors in general. I will come up with an alternative color if I do a custom crew color. Today, I'm actually going to be using the pure black. I thought the pure black actually fits really well. So if you want to go to primary color, you want to go down here to the crew section. I'll put the hex code on screen right now for it. So there we go. And you just want to click on the crew color. It's going to apply that nice pure black over top, and I think it looks really great. It actually makes it shine really nicely too. It actually is a lot more shinier than the standard black, which again, metallic black, as you can see here, a bit more shinier than that. But yeah, the pure black is what you want to go for, is for the primary. Also, you want to go to the pearlescence, and you want to make sure that is black. Now, if you do want to add a little bit of different shine to it, you can add like a subtle hint of like a dark steel or a black steel, or if at most, I would say if I was going to add something and I saw, you know, the pictures and everything I saw, add like a little bit of a blue tint to it, a little bit of blue hue to it at certain points in lighting. So I would add like maybe a shadow silver to it, since it is very subtle. You don't really look and notice it that much, but you know, that is just me. Me personally, I'm just going to keep it standard black, all black around. I just think it fits really well, and it looks really great. After that, I move on to the secondary color. You just want to go down to the crew section, and just apply that crew color right there. What this does is it's actually going to change the roll cage color, or any other parts you actually have a secondary color to, which we don't. And it's also going to change, I believe, the stitching on the inside. But as you can see, changes the stitching. There we go. That's a little bit better. So yeah, I would just keep it black, or, you know, just keep it the crew color. It's free, and you don't need to pay any money for it, so that's really nice. After that, move on to the trim color. I just go with the graphite. It comes in graphite, or if it doesn't come in graphite, I would definitely just change it to graphite. It's pretty much a base design interior color that I use for pretty much all my builds. There are a few that I changed here and there, but it's very, very subtle, and at times it's very, very rare as well. And that is it. That is how you recreate the 2020 Dodge Charger Hellcat Widebody that Dom drives in F9 The Fast Saga, or as I like to call it, Fast and Furious 9 or Fast 9. I think the car turned out really well. I kind of wish we did have the gray stripes though, even just like standard gray stripes with no outline. That would have worked so much better for the build than anything else. But, you know, for me, I just don't feel like adding the stripes. It's just not the right color of stripes. But again, I did give you options that you can do if you want to do it that way. I still think it looks really great and it looks really awesome. So we're probably going to go outside. It's going to be nice and dark out, most likely. Yep, nice and dark out, as you see. A lot of cars blowing up for some reason. Alright, so we're going to go for a little bit... Oh, okay, fireman dead. We're going to go for a little bit of a drive. We're going to go this way. So yeah, the car actually handles really well. The acceleration's really good. And like I said, if you add the homing locker, like lock on Imani Tech, whatever it is, at the agency, it makes the car even better. Even though we can't get it on all the vehicles, at least we can get it on some of the vehicles. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, if you don't buy an agency, you're going to be paying over $2 million for this car. If you buy an agency, you do get the discounted trade price for this car. It's down to like, I think it's $1,600,000. So, yeah, I would definitely, if you had the money, buy the agency. If you can't afford the car, if you want the car, then just go ahead and save up for it. Like I said, most of the time when I build cars, and if I didn't have the money, I would buy the car and then not modify it until I had the parts that I needed. So if I needed, like, say a certain bumper, I'm not a certain level, or if I don't have the money for it, I would go and add it piece by piece. But that's just me. That's how I build cars, and that's how I do things. I do appreciate every single one of you guys that actually I meet in lobbies. Some people actually are just random and join my crew, which that's fine. I'll have to go through and maybe clear them out eventually, but they're fine for right now. But yeah, I do like get in lobbies and people say, "Oh man, you're the guy that creates the cars." I'm like, "Yeah," and then he says, "You know, you really enjoy my builds and you enjoy how much detail I give into them and how accurate I try to get them, like as accurate as possible." I try to do the best I can, guys, not just for me, but for you as well. Because again, you guys are all family. But yeah, I think that's going to pretty much be where I'm going to wrap up the video today. So as always, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down in the comment section down below for what build you want me to do next. And I will definitely get back to you whether I'll be able to do it or not. I don't want to give you guys false hope, you know, say, oh, I can build it but never do. I have a lot of cars built and ready to go. I just got to get the time and get after the holidays, actually mainly, and just get on the ball and just start recording and uploading some more videos. The holidays is one of the hardest times for me, which it is probably for a lot of people. But I work in retail, and it's really, really tough on me because I work like 12-hour shifts anymore, 10 to 12-hour shifts anymore, and I come home, I lift weights, and I try to relax a bit before I go to bed, and I just want to get on and just kind of chill and play and kind of earn some money, because I still try to earn some money for, you know, building cars and all that too. Even though I have a lot of money, I still like to earn money because it's really fun. But yeah, enough rambling on. Like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy the build. If you did, let me know down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you guys, whether it just be to say hi, you know, I like the builds, love the builds, hate the builds, whatever you want to say, let me know. It helps our algorithm, which that's how YouTube works. So, as always, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the love and support. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Catch you guys later. I'm out. Peace.